Good morning, everyone. How you doing? My name is HolyNiwa, and welcome back to your daily astrological forecast. On the Gregorian calendar, today is Monday, April 16th, and on the Mayan calendar, it is Lima, day 13 of the planetary dog moon, also known as Kin 68 yellow electric star. That's a little bit difficult, and still trying to get used to how to say. Yeah, how y'all doing today? We just had a new moon yesterday. Definitely a lot of energies that are coming with it are brand new, are unexpected. Some of us are literally getting slapped by trouts and not sure how to handle this phenomenon of seeing a trout jump out of the water, slap you across the face, and jump back in the water, and you're just like, the fuck happened? So it's been very interesting, especially in the last 48 hours. I don't know if anyone else has been feeling it, but my sleep schedule has been completely destroyed after being it's been normalized for like, I don't know, a couple weeks, and then all of a sudden just like destroyed, gone. I'm like sleeping 5 hours later than I should be. I am desynced with my internal clock right now, and it's just been a little bit problematic for me in a way. I've also come into the awareness of new information that have been completely mind-blowing. Everything I've ever understood about the universe, things are making a lot more sense. I personally took the initiative of ending one Discord, and now I am in the preparation of making a new one so that I can show you guys a little bit about it. I don't know, my whole entire sphere of everything in the last 48 hours has really changed, and I'm wondering how has that been for you guys. With that said though, let's go ahead and take a look at a little bit about, what the next 2 or 3 days are and have been like. Because again, we're in the transition of some really massive energy shifts, right? We are on Monday, right? Sunday we had the new moon. Monday is kind of like almost a chill day, because Tuesday we're gonna have two phenomenons. We're gonna have Saturn retrograde. It's gonna be around roughly 10 p.m. EST, and then we're also gonna have Chiron ingress into Aries, which is gonna be somewhere around 5 a.m. EST, both of them again happening on the 17th, on Tuesday. So we're in the middle of this transit, or not transit, but a lot of these changes that are just occurring in our lives, and it's kind of interesting to see how all of this plays out. I do also want to mention that tomorrow is not only a special day because we're having Lord of Karma retrograding and the Centaur of Distortion ingressing into a new sign, but tomorrow is also going to be, for the Mayan calendar side, is going to be a portal day. Now, what exactly is a portal day? A portal day are when the energy nodes between the common Earth time and the galactic time, the wavelength intersection that facilitates the reception of these two energies, are essentially synchronized. These two timelines are, time flows are essentially running at the same time, if you will, at the same pace. And so tomorrow is going to be a very good day for things like downloads and synchronicities, and just coming into greater awareness of certain things. So just keep that in mind, that tomorrow is going to be the energy for that. Now, as for what's going on today, because I definitely been talking a lot about yesterday and talking about tomorrow, but what about today, right? So as I explained, the moon is in Taurus now after finishing up its new moon. The sun is still obviously conjunct Uranus here, and that's going to continue to get stronger as we have our solar ingress coming in several days now. So again, a lot of content. There's there's so much happening within a a span of time, right? Like we just said, new moon, Saturn retrograde, Chiron ingress, solar ingress, Pluto retrograde, Mercury direct, a lot of things all happening at once. And I kind of covered a little bit Mercury direct in regards with the new moon, so if you haven't seen it, definitely check that out. We kind of explain how essentially we've learned a lot of our mistakes within the last 3 weeks, and now we're here to kind of do the walk again, but do things right. We're gonna take our time with it. We're gonna move at a proper pace. We're not gonna fly right through it, and we're gonna make sure that we do things legit, because that's what the Mercury lessons generally tend to be. Slow the fuck down and really, you know, assess your sign area, and figure out what the hell you did wrong, and go ahead and try again. So this might be a situation in which, let's say for example, while Mercury was going through its pre-shadow phase, or yeah, actually that would be around the right time. Let's say you had an interview, right? You didn't really, either you may not have planned very well for it, or maybe you just executed it poorly and you balled it, you dropped it, you didn't like it, it was bad, no job whatsoever. You know, during the Mercury retrograde phase, you probably would have been reassessing it. You would have been figuring out, okay, how did that go bad? How can I improve? Let me try out some techniques, let me do some practices, let's get things a little more refined, right? And now that the moon is in its shadow, or not the moon, excuse me, now that Mercury is in a shadow period, there could be an opportunity for another interview for a similar position, but perhaps, let's say, at a different store or company, right? And all of a sudden you're run into the same situation again, but this time you know what to do properly. You know, that's kind of like a Mercury type situation, especially because it's an Aries. It's about showing your authenticity. It's showing who you are, not shying behind, but also not letting your emotions get the best of you, right? Definitely being in a person of empowerment, of knowing that who you are is the right, you know, choice here, it's the right thing, and that you shouldn't have to put facades for something that isn't true, because the highest vibration of Aries is truly authenticity. So that might be something that's going on with Mercury. Of course, that's not the same situation for everyone. Everybody is designed differently and will have different experiences from then and now. However, for today, we have the moon in Taurus, right? Big ol' stability, big ol' finances, working at a proper pace, which is quite, how do I say, appropriate for the Mercury direct we have here in its shadow period. We are working at proper pace, right? We have learned the lessons. We have gone through the massive transformations. We're going to run into some unexpected new beginnings because of that Uranus conjunction on the new moon. And now we are essentially working at proper pace. We're going to go ahead and try this again, and we're going to do things right this time. So the moon here is very beneficial in trying to help that forward. And in fact, that is not the one. We also have the moon coming into seemingly the spot for a tricolor in which, you know, Venus used to be here. And now the moon has kind of taken over that spot, which is the square to Ceres and the trine to Saturn, while the two of them are in conjunct. So to repeat, that is Ceres square moon, Ceres in conjunct Saturn, and Saturn trine the moon. This tricolor is really much about, you know, finding the way, about really learning lessons that we have been met with because of that aspect with Saturn here. It's going to very much, how do I say, empower us in order to be able to move forward and nurture that courage that we need, that you know, because let's be real here. Being authentic is hard. You know, most people would rather shy away from it. You know, if they can hold, unless you're a Leo out there, if you're like a super Leo, then you know, you do you, boo boo. But for most people, being authentic is really difficult. They would rather stick to the norm, you know, wear a dress code instead of having to worry about fashion, trying not to stick out and just getting through high school, for example, right? Being authentic is difficult because other people want you to act the way they want you to act. And so this square to Ceres and this in conjunct with Saturn is essentially telling us there are lessons that we need to learn in regards to wanting to be authentic, and that is to step up, be courageous, be willing to go out there and put yourself out there as how you truly are. So there's a lot of that type of energy in regards to what's going on with the universe right now, right? This is really tapping into your inner Leo and being that, you know, confident self of, I can do this, I'm gonna go ahead and do it, can't let no one stop me, right? No one's gonna let me or gonna keep me down. This is definitely a very like I said before, coming out moment. And there's a big push on this, like, you know, seeing this Athena Ceres aspect with Saturn. This is a really big moment for learning that, for really realizing your own individual uniqueness. You know, I can't go into many details, but lately I've been learning a lot more about myself as a greater whole, and not just on this physical plane, but also on a spiritual one. I've been learning about who I am, what my origins are, and what my tasks here on Earth are, for example. And taking that information, I can now bring that to unlock the South Node in Aquarius here. So that's kind of how things are playing out for me, for example. You know, I'm really learning about my own self, authentic self, and taking that unique individual to be able to be of help and service to others, as is my task with these daily videos, is to serve others. So I mean, this is just merely one example. Again, things can be playing out differently in your own situations or rights. You know, as I said earlier, there's a lot of things that we're just kind of going to slightly revisit. This is almost like deja vu-ville, in which we're really going to come up into similar situations, and essentially we're gonna have to do things right this time, because we learned a lesson during retrograde. Whether we're conscious of it or not, we learned. So that's something to take note of. Now, for the next couple of days, especially I believe tomorrow, you're going to see that Venus is going to be opposing Jupiter at its peak. This is definitely going to be the big highlight of this opposition. And, you know, this is a really weird kind of thing to talk about, because Venus is in her natural sign of Taurus right now, right? She is back home. She has come back to her mansion, her money, her luxury, her security, her stability, her self-worth. She knows what she's all about. She is tired of having gone through that zodiacal transition and that adventure that made her feel really shitty for the last several months. She is back home. She is relaxing in her luxury bed, but she's opposing Jupiter. And that's really kind of weird, because we've had a little bit of dialogue in regards to what Jupiter in the 8th, for example, may mean. And here, you know, Jupiter technically is in the 8th. It's in the house of Scorpio, but even more so, it's opposing Venus. And I don't see this so much as a negative as much as you know, you're going to gain your luxury through other people. Now, this is even more interesting given the fact that Venus not only rules Taurus but also rules Libra. So, you know, your luck, your success, your even as far as your faith and optimism are going to derive from other people, only because of your relationships with them. You know, you might be an amazing person, but you have really horrible self-confidence, and all of a sudden your best mate comes by and they start cheering you up, they start patting your arms, they start having you do some hoorah poses and stuff, and they try to get your flame back sparking again, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I can do this, all right, let's go ahead and give it a shot then. Yeah, you have nothing to worry about, man. And all of a sudden you're back in the game, you're reanimated, you're ready to go. So again, look towards those around you to be able to find that spark to keep going in whatever it is, to find your success, to be able to find that which is going to help you. Does that mean that you should cave in? No. Remember, the sun is in Aries right now. This isn't about them, this is about you. If someone is trying to tell you how to do something, they need to go. They should be here to empower you, to motivate you, to inspire you, to reignite the flame within you. That is what other people are here to do for you. And of course, you're going to be beneficial for them as well in the long run, because Venus here is going to be in Taurus. So just keep that in mind, that if you're feeling low, look no further than you will have people trying to uplift you and give you that extra push that you may need. Aside from that, I don't have too much to talk about at the moment that I haven't already addressed with the new moon. Of course, we have Mars and Pluto getting closer and closer, and I'm really fascinated to see how this is going to play out, only because by the time these two are going to be conjunct fully, I do believe both that Saturn and Pluto will be retrograding. So again, this is going to be a massive Capricornian shift here. Capricorns all around the world, whether that be your sun, moon, ascendant, are going to feel this massive shift. So just stay tuned to that, and wherever your house, your Capricorn is in your houses, that area of your life is definitely going to be felt. So keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that a lot of my generation right now are going through Saturn returns, are having Jupiter over their Plutos. So it's a really weird time for us right now, and we may not exactly know how to make the most of it, especially because we just had that new moon in Uranus, which makes everything unpredictable. So just keep that in mind, guys. Overall, really good energy, very good time to fix a lot of earlier mistakes and be able to progress forward. Learn from your past, or you will be deemed to repeat it. That's the mission and the lesson of today. And honestly, for this shadow phase of Mercury, which, if I hadn't already explained, the shadow phase is basically the time in which it retrograded, or the degrees that it retrograded. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. As you can see, I kind of cleaned up a little bit extra video here, or screen. We're gonna be filling it up once again with some content, most likely tomorrow, because we got a whole lot of stuff going on then. Yeah, look forward to being able to re-announce the new Discord. I think it's already really making me feel excited about it, just because there's a lot more this time I feel that is available, and I truly do think that you guys will very much enjoy it. But with that said, guys, as usual, stay safe, stay positive, and I'll be catching you guys on tomorrow's cast. Peace.